Hi, Mr. Mailman. I mean, Mr. Mike.
Costume parade! Tina, let me guess. You're a dinosaur.
Nice try. I'm the Sherlockness monster. I'm a mystery who solves mysteries.
Oh, I love it.
Right away, Oliver and Gus were extremely helpful when I had to cut out the cardboard. It was a pretty simple shape, basically an L with different pieces of cardboard, and it's definitely different than the screen version where it looks like a shoebox was used for the top, but I just tried to put a little bit of trim around that and get the same look. The other thing was it was definitely different than the foam investigator's costume that I made, where all I had was a back piece and then a hood-like piece that came over for the snout. This actually had side pieces, and I remembered to cut out the shoulder space. All of the blue tape that you see here is actually intentional. It's not placed in the same specific spots as where Tina Belcher's costume is, but because hers clearly has big pieces of tape holding her mask part together, I thought it was perfect because I could use tape before I had to deal with too much hot glue, and that way I could tape things together, see if it fit, and then paint right over it. Of the many differences that I had to make, one of them was that the top of Tina's outfit actually looks like a shoebox, and I tried to put trim around that to make it look like a shoebox on mine, and then I realized I put the trim on the bottom instead of on the top of the snout. So I just added a second piece and it gives a little dimension to it, even though it's not perfect. Trying to draw eyeballs evenly, even the mouth was pretty difficult. And much respect for people who do these 3D masks like on the regular. They must have a knack or some sort of secret for how to get those lined up. The hat had the most hot glue used that I've ever used in any kind of project ever. Without having much of a plan, I was actually surprised that the hat worked out at all because I don't know why, I just didn't think to make a really oversized deerstalker hat. Instead, I made cardboard and covered it with a t-shirt that I bought at the thrift store. And then I used the hem, like kind of like these pieces here, the hem of the shirt as ties, and so I made the tie and bow on top, and then I actually used a strip of that as well to secure the hat to the headpiece itself. And I added a black wash to just a few little spots on the hat to make it look like there was some shadow.
Well, it's lit green. Yes, Gus. So besides the extraordinary amount of hot glue, you want to be in the picture? Yeah, I'll pick you up. So sorry, it was probably a whole lot of noise. Boneless Gus. Yeah. Oh, hi. So the only thing that's not comfortable is right here on my forehead. But honestly, it's not that bad. Not compared to like wigs for, 12 hours or high heels or anything like that. And this is even a lot more comfortable than my foam investigator's head, which was a lot. It was the weight of it, and I didn't have any shoulder support. I was trying to balance it all on my head with a headband. That didn't work. This, at least, is a lot shorter in the snout and not as tall. I mean, it's just much more manageable for sure. So, even though the investigators had looked kind of cooler because of the foam and the fact that I was actually trying and it had teeth, this is supposed to look like a child made it. So that's the great thing, is that it really does look like a child made it. All right. The headpiece is done. What do you think? It's freaking marvelous. There is so much hot glue. I hate hot glue. And this whole thing is hot glue. There's no sewing involved whatsoever, which is freaking crazy. I mean, trying to coffee dye the jacket right now, not really working, gotta tell you. But this is really the best part. This is what makes it. Have to move like RoboCop or Batman, but you get it.
Oh dear, this is the terrible part where I tried coffee dyeing the jacket.
Just realized that this is not instant coffee and it's not going to dissolve. You're supposed to start with coffee brewed through a coffee maker, like a filter. And for some reason I just thought putting it in water would dissolve it. I'm such an idiot.
You can see the absolute genius that I was, where there are coffee grounds absolutely covering this jacket. Not even sure how evident it is on the screen that this coffee dyeing attempt was completely not worth it. Not only did I make a mess getting coffee grounds stuck all over the jacket, it did not get much darker at all to even be worth it. And the other thing I was trying to do was cover up some very teeny tiny stains. And instead, I made it worse. But the jacket's comfortable and there are pockets. I found official Tina Belcher glasses on Amazon. So I got pretty lucky. When it came time for the final results, I absolutely loved the way this cosplay came out. It was comfortable to wear. I had a great time at Free Comic Book Day, and two people knew who I was dressed as, and specifically the episode. So, Bob Scorgers for the win.